My name is Mike Wiggins Jr. from Bad River. Thank you, Mr. Bernardi. I just wanted to follow up on the Joint Impact Committee meeting notice for February 3rd to just essentially extend an invite to each and every one of you. I've seen a letter from Tracy Benzel questioning the wisdom of even having joint impact meetings, and then I also understand that Jeff Earhart is not feeling well, and so that the whole notion of a joint impact meeting sounded kind of in limbo. And in light of the sorry state that that exists as far as how you guys are being treated by GTAC, what I'd like to invite you to is to come over to Bad River and talk about what other types of positive economic development opportunities might stand between us as people who share a home. And to that end, I've probably been one of the most disrespectful folks around as it pertains to being oppositional to some of the discussions on mining. In fact, Mr. Bernardi, I'd like to apologize to you tonight personally for using your name in some comments that I really had no knowledge of firsthand, and really when Doreen O'Donnell and I had a discussion over in Ashland one day, she kind of held my feet to the fire a little bit, and I had to acknowledge that I didn't even know who you were, and this is really the first time I've ever seen you. And so, thank you, sir. Staring down some of those types of comments historically isn't easy, and then still being in a leadership position for my tribe and wanting to move us forward and wanting, really, truly wanting better for Iron County, having been so oppositional is a difficult proposition, but I got to start somewhere. And so I wanted to come here tonight to say there's things like the $8.1 million fiber optic glass that we have in the ground from Marquette, Michigan to Duluth, Minnesota. That is real. We own that, and we're struggling to get connected. And I mean, we have our own communities kind of fired up on really, really fast fiber optic connectivity. But I know what your situation is in Iron County, and really, we sit there with all of that, not wanting to become millionaires or billionaires, but to just share a home, to see this place grow in a way that obviously leaves it intact. We'd like to talk about that infrastructure as something that could be a part of the broadband discussions that you guys are having. I know Dick Dees, Doreen O'Donnell, and others have been having those. I attended one at Gilgiva Community College. We also do a local agreement with Ashland County. That's $100,000 of gaming money that is essentially agreed upon between us and Ashland County, and it's used for projects of mutual interest. And it used to be an 80-20 split, 20% going to the tribe. When I came in, I acted like a big baby like I am, and we commandeered it for like 70-30 going to the tribe. We're at 60-40 right now, and I mentioned to Jeff Burrow, I said, $60,000 and $40,000 going to Ashland County for positive projects that we both agree on. That's great, but when we think about the lack of really good snowmobile trails and things like that connect Ashland County and Iron County by way of that US 2 corridor, I think there's lots of things that we could talk about. And Jeff agreed. Of course, I got a tribal council to deal with, but we want to bring Iron County into those local agreement discussions to get some money to you guys too. Whether that's to continue some of the food pantry stuff, or seeing Jamie Francis and those guys planting trees, or maybe you have snowmobile projects or trails or whatever you got to work on. If it's for the good of the order, so to speak, and we're all sitting there as Tri-County people who share a home, we got that $100,000 we do every year that we can negotiate for and divvy up. We use a lot of that money to help fund Ashland County Sheriff's Department and things like that, but we also fund our own Boys and Girls Club, and So I don't know, you guys can see places obviously in your home here that I can't see, but there's things to talk about that are positive. And then the last one is that snowmobile trail corridor in and of itself. We have an engineering and also an environmental study and an economic feasibility study going that examines the whole connection between the casino and Ashland. And we want to talk about the connection going east to see if there's anything that would be in your interest with snowmobile clubs and clientele that visit Iron County. I sent word to an old college buddy of mine, Bart Innes, and we're going to sit down and talk about, you know, what some of the things that he needs for his business. How can we work together to make things more prosperous, really? And we have access to state and federal money that is earmarked for the tribes. And so if we keep this filter of wanting to build economic development as participants in a shared home, and maybe agree to not talk about a certain issue, I think we'd have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we would too.
And so, you know, February 3rd, my council is doing some grub. They're going to be doing a little bit of a potluck, and we're going to get a bunch of fish. And actually, fish is another issue. Tracy Benzel, I think I seen him and a couple other folks at the Great Lakes Visitor Center. I just came from those big lake fishery negotiations with the DNR, and I'll tell you what, we gotta fight for sportsmen, hook and line people. We really do. The commercial industry, both tribal and non-tribal, the trap netting and in and around the Apostle and stuff like that, it all has a place, but everything has its balance. And when hook and line fishermen are getting impacted like that, we got to put our heads together and make sure we keep we remember what makes this a great place, you know, to live. So so we can talk about some of that stuff, and I definitely want to listen too, you know, to hear what some of your concerns are. And so I wanted to extend the invite and in a good way, you know, encourage all you guys to come on over. You don't have to stay very long. You can just eat around if you wanted to, but at the same time, to try and broach the subject of some of the possibilities that still exist here. So thank you for that ability to make a few comments, even though it wasn't about the, you know, that resolution stuff. So.